Okay, I want to welcome you back to What's Up? What's Up? What's Up? And we're still talking about the moon. But today we're going to be talking about the moon flag controversy. And we're going to have the conspiracy theorists versus the so-called science. All right, so this video is going to be 15 minutes long, and we're just going to drag out everything that we can see on the image that you see on your screen. We got two astronauts out there. We got John Glenn and Buzz Aldrin sitting out there, and they are planting a flag of the United States of America on the surface of the moon. Now, my first question would be, since there's only two astronauts down there on the moon, who's filming that? Okay. Who's filming these two astronauts jumping around? There's got to be a third person. Okay. But you're going to say, well, Mr. Martin, Billy Boy, they had a camera mounted onto the limb. Okay. I'll take that. All right. I'll take it. They had a camera mounted on the limb. I want to know where the boom was and how far out this thing was and how did they know how to perfectly get that centered. It's another one of those perfect pictures, you see. So if you look at this video here by Getty Images, you'll see that the flag is waving. Do you see that flag waving? I see this doggone flag here waving back and forth. Now, on the earth, yeah, I would expect the flag to be waving, but it looks like the flag ripples as a breeze is blowing, proving the footage was filmed on the earth with air. Now, the moon doesn't have any atmosphere, so it shouldn't be, flag should not be whipping around like this. Shouldn't be, but it is. Look at it. He's not moving around. That flag is whipping around like it's being blown with air by a fan or an air conditioning unit on a set on planet Earth. Now, the debunker's response would be to this is, well, the motion only happens when the astronaut twists the pole. When that astronaut twists that pole, right, that's when the motion happens. With no atmosphere, there's no air resistance, so the flag keeps moving longer than it would on Earth. So they're saying that once this flag is in motion, it'll just keep moving and moving and moving. That's what they say. Right? Now you just watch this. Okay? He's not moving around. Also, I want you to notice how these two astronauts are moving around. Right? Both their feet come off the ground at the same time and they're not hopping, especially around the flag. And if we had sound to this video clip, when he's hammering that pole in, we would hear it. We would hear every time he takes that hammer and pounds that pole into the moon surface, we hear it clink, clink, clink. Now, we're not supposed to hear any sound. There's no atmosphere, right? But we hear the hammer going clink, clink, clink when he's hammering in the ground. When he's not moving, the flag is still moving around. You see that? Look. He's not twisting the pole. If he was to twist the pole, then the top, there's a pole that's running horizontally along the top of the flag. The flag would go to the left or to the right. You see that? There's a right on the top they have a pole right there, right? But look at this. Look how it's flapping all around. You see that? The flag continues to flutter and it should just win. So my theory is this. If you are partially pregnant or you are partially dead, you're dead and you're pregnant. Let me say that again. If you're a little bit pregnant or you are a little bit dead, you are pregnant and you're dead. If that flag is flopping around on the moon's surface and it keeps flopping around, it's not on the moon, it's on planet Earth. All right? So now the debunkers, they're going to use their science and they'll say that just physics is in a vacuum with no air to dampen motion. The flag oscillates freely until it settles. So they're saying that if that flag starts moving, it's just going to keep going on and on and on until it settles down. That's what it's telling me. That's what the debunkers are saying. But to me, the ripple looks exactly like a flag is flapping in the wind. You see that? Look at this. Come on, man. Look. Come on. It looks like it's flapping in the wind. Now the debunkers will say, well, you know, the flag had a horizontal rod to hold it out, but the rod didn't fully extend. Plus, it was folded during storage, leaving permanent creases that look like waves. Okay. Yeah, there's creases in the flag. Yeah, it was folded up. We're not looking at the creases. We're looking at the movement of this doggone flag. Right? There's resistance, there's air, there's an atmosphere. Every time he moves that thing around, this flag is moving against an atmosphere, which means that this doggone thing was done on Earth. I want you to look at the ground that they're working on. I want you to look at the imprints by their boots. It looks to me like they're on a wet, sandy beach to me. It looks like that sand, and it looks like it's wet. Now, if they use concrete or cement, because they could have filled the whole place with cement. If it's wet, they're going to have to take and wash that off because that cement's going to get real hard. But I think that's like sand, and they're in sand, and they're walking around on a sandy beach inside of a movie set. That's why you see the imprints. Okay, we're not going to talk about the shadows going in different directions. All we want to do is look at that flag. And that's why I'm showing this for 15 minutes. So you can see that a flag in no atmosphere is flopping around. All right? So people like me and Mark, we believe that NASA staged the landing on a film set using fans to create a wind-blown effect. So usually whenever we take and display the flag, we want to have the flag blowing in the wind. We want to have a bald eagle come down. We want to have jets flying over, that kind of stuff. So The American people are used to that. Whenever they see the American flag, they're used to seeing it bellowing in the wind. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Yeah, and the jets coming across and all that kind of stuff. Flag just billowing in the wind, except for we're not on the doggone earth. We're on the moon. So there is no doggone wind. And I also want you to notice in the background, there's no stars. Not one star. And you see that straight line in the back. You see this back here in the back here? See this? Look at this. It's straight across. Where do you ever see a surface where it's daylight on half of it and pitch black on the other side? You've never seen nothing like that. The only time you're going to see something like that where it's black over here and it's daylight over here is on a movie set. That's where you're going to see that at. All right. Now, last thing here. Okay, we're going to say that people like us would say if NASA really planted a flag, it should hang straight down in low gravity. So in low gravity, that flag should be hanging straight down. It should not be flopping around or anything like that. But then the debunker will say, well, a flag in a vacuum with no breeze would indeed hang limply. So NASA added to the support rod at the top to make it visible. The rippling is a result of that design and not wind. So they're saying that this horizontal rod up here caused everything. They're also saying that Aldrin kicked the bottom of the pole. I don't see him kicking the bottom of the pole. I don't see him spinning or moving anything around. All I see is that flag billowing in the wind. So, in conclusion, the flag is a smoking gun that the landing is a fake. Just like I said before, if you're a little bit pregnant or you're a little bit dead, you're pregnant and you're dead. If there's wind blowing this flag, if that flag is billowing around, then that means that they are not on the moon, period. All right? So the debunkers will say that, well, independent evidence like laser reflections still used today and thousands of moon rock samples prove humans went to the moon. The flag is a misunderstanding of physics, not proof of a hoax. Misunderstanding of physics. That's what the debunkers say. Misunderstanding of physics. Yeah, right. Okay, so I showed, we're at the 15-minute mark. I showed you that flag. You watched that flag for 15 minutes flopping around in the wind, and you know that that is not true. Well, maybe you think it's true. I don't know. But I'm going to take and go ahead and end it today. I want to thank you for being part of What's Up and hope you enjoyed our show and see you in another episode of What's Up? What's Up? On How You Like My House. Pretty cool, huh? What's up? What's up?